Good morning and welcome back to the vlog. It's been a very crazy morning. All three boys had a doctor appointment. I've been trying to just do them all at once so that I don't have to worry about running into town several times. It's very chaotic, especially trying to get like myself and three kids ready and out the door by a certain time. Bennett and Halston had a well check, and then Bennett and Hendricks had a like pre-op appointment. I haven't really filled you guys in. Like, I feel like I honestly haven't vlogged in what feels like a month, if not longer. There's just been so much going on between just like illnesses and doctor appointments and just life, I guess. Bennett and Hendricks have some dental work that they need done. Bennett is not old enough for like the laughing gas, and so he has to go under. And Hendricks also needs pretty extensive dental work, unfortunately, and also will have to go under. They were willing to do it in office with him like awake and everything and just like numbing him, but it would have been 4 different appointments. And she's like, if I'm being honest, by like the 4th appointment most kids are just over it. So she did leave the option up to me, but they also have probably the best of the best dentist in this area, so I feel like I'm nervous. No matter if they had the best doctor in the world, I would still be nervous. Like, it's my children, but for the most part, like, I'm feeling at least at ease knowing that they have the best dentist taking care of them. So we went to basically like their pre-op appointments today just to make sure that they are good for going under anesthesia, and like got the okay for that. Halston also had his 6-month checkup. Everything looks good with him. We did have a scare, I want to say it was like this last Saturday. He was really, and I'm telling you this because I never knew that this was a thing, and I feel that it's kind of important to like educate parents just in case. But Halston was just like fussing, like he was having some gas pains or something. I was changing his diaper, and so I passed him off to Kenny, and I was like, do you want to try to like get some of these like gas pains out, because he's really good at that, and I'll go get him some gas drops. So that's what he was doing. When I got the gas drops, tried to give it to him, and he wasn't swallowing it, which was like my first like, okay, something's not right, because typically when we give him like the gas drops, like he's really good to like stop grunting or crying, whatever, to at least swallow it, but he wasn't doing that. And I was like, okay, that's a little bit weird. I noticed that Halston's lips looked a little like bluish purple, nothing like extreme, but I was like, okay, like he's looking a little pale. Kenny suggested taking him to like the back door, opening it, seeing if the cold air would maybe like shock him enough to like take a breath, because like not only was he grunting, but just like he would let out like a very hard like exhale, but you could barely hear him inhale, if like not inhale at all. So all you could hear was him exhaling, but it was really hard and loud. Opened the back door to see if maybe like the cold air would shock him. And at this point I was holding him like this, so like his head was here, his butt here. That way I could keep an eye on like his lips to make sure they didn't get like more blue. And babies this age, they're always moving like their arms and their legs. So like he's not like flailing, but he's just like moving his arms and legs like he normally does. And then he just went limp. Like he stopped moving and his like arms and legs kind of fell. And he was unresponsive, his eyes were starting to close, and so that's when Kenny ran to call 911. The whole time they were trying to have us keep him awake, and I was having a hard time doing that. Like I said, he was just completely unresponsive. Like I kept trying to say his name, I would say it louder, I would try to move his arms and his legs, and he was just limp, and his eyes just like, it was like he was just trying to fall asleep. And then the paramedics showed up and did all of his vitals. They were like, yeah, he looks a little pale, his lips look a little blue. They were taking his vitals and said everything looked good. They listened to his lungs. You know, he's like, we can take him in just to have him checked out just to be sure. Or, you know, you can keep an eye on him, and if anything else happens, like, please do not hesitate to call us. Like, we'll be right here. Like, especially when we hear that it's an infant, like, we are just so quick and like understanding. So my mind was very put at ease. It was definitely scary and traumatic. I'm happy that he's okay, but I actually brought that up to his pediatrician, and he said, which this is what I read on Google, it's a breath withholding spell. And so sometimes, like especially if your baby or child gets really worked up and they just have a harder time breathing, that it's almost like the body's way of resetting itself, and so they'll just pass out. And it sounded like what happened with Halston. Everything I was reading on Google, videos I had seen, I was like, that's exactly what happened. Like, he was just grunting. I couldn't hear him inhaling, and he passed out. So I didn't know that that was a thing. Like, I knew that like kids, like when they cry, if they hyperventilate, like it's hard to breathe, and so it was basically like that, but just extensive. So very scary, but he's okay and it's nothing serious, so that's really good. I've heard, like, Kenny brought it up to one of his coworkers, and she said that her kids used to do that, and she's like, generally, like, if you just like blow in their face, especially like their nose, it'll like make them take a breath before passing out. So if that ever happens again, that's probably what I'll try, but it was just really scary. I'm hoping to be back into vlogging. Like I said, we've just had lots of illnesses. I feel like every time I hop on here, I'm like, yeah, we just got over this. The kids have that. Like, before this whole episode happened with Halston, the younger kids had RSV, both Bennett and Halston. So it was like extra scary because Halston had literally just gotten over RSV. We have a few hours until I have to have Hendrix back for his therapy appointment, so we're hanging out in town. I just got the boys Chick-fil-A so that they wouldn't be starving, and we hardly ever get to like eat Chick-fil-A. We like barely come to the city anymore per se, so figured we go to Chick-fil-A. I'm gonna go to Starbucks and get myself a coffee. Maybe we'll go browse Target, go look at some toys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to look at some toys?
Yeah.
Okay. I might steal Bennett's chicken though. I didn't get myself anything because I know that Bennett doesn't typically eat all of his chicken. That, and I have super yummy leftovers from last night at home waiting for me, so what the heck? It's like he like took a bite out of every chicken nugget. That one. What even in the world, child? Well, he didn't bite out of this one, so maybe I'll have this one. I think Bennett would absolutely love these. The dinosaurs. It's so cute. Yeah, they got some cute stuff, mister. We've been on the hunt for squishmallows. Oh, they have a lot of them. They have a lot more than 2. It said they only had 2 in stock. Oh, look at the one on the bottom. What is that? That one's kind of cute. That green one.
Oh, it's a cupcake.
No, I was talking about on the very bottom. Like right there.
Where?
Right here. Yeah, that one's kind of cute. I don't know what it is, but it's cute.
It could be, oh no, it must be a stegosaurus.
Is it a stegosaurus? Oh, but he does look like a dinosaur though.
Yeah.
I guess I'll leave it up to you which one you want. Okay, Bennett, do you want one? I don't know if he's gonna want one. I don't want you guys to fight over it. I don't really see anything that Bennett would like though either. Back out I go. You have a good time, okay? I love you. Very chit-chatty vlog today, so I apologize, but we're just, like I said, on the go quite a bit today. And it's actually been kind of nice. Like, it's nice to get out, and like I was really looking forward to like just even browsing Target. Like, I don't get to go there very often anymore, and even just to like browse, it was so nice to get out. I feel like I've been like stuck in this like big mental block, and I don't know if it's just like lack of getting out of the house. Like, we maybe get out of the house long enough to like pick up Hendrix from school, or take him to school obviously, or go to the grocery store, and like that's it. So I would like to get us back into like getting out of the house at least once a week, even if it's just going to like see my sister or something. It felt really nice, but I do feel like I'm just in this big mental block right now. So it's just like this big mental block on top of like overstimulation. I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed. I feel like there's just a never-ending list, and especially with like the kids having as many like health problems as they are. Like, Bennett really needs to get his tonsils removed, so that's something else that we have to like get figured out. I also wanted to talk about how Hendrix's therapy was going, but I'm also kind of torn between like sharing the kids less, and obviously like there's a line of like oversharing and things that I don't need to share or go into detail about. But then it's just like with things like this, like when I like mentioned getting him into speech therapy to help with his eating habits, I had a few people reach out and they were like, oh my gosh, like I had no idea that like that's how they went about it. Like my child is the same way. And so it was just really like educational, and I feel like sometimes it's hard to find other people who are like in the same position or have a child going through the same thing. It's nice in a sense of like being able to like help others, but also I'm like, I don't know, is that crossing the line? And it's really not even so much about him, like what I'm wanting to like talk about. It's more or less just that I need to talk to his therapist and see where exactly we're going with this, because he's been in this for like almost 2 months now, maybe a little longer, and like they're not doing anything to help him with what he's going for. They just play games and like do arts and crafts, and there's nothing helping him with what I put him in there for. I don't want to be wasting our time, especially because it's like I have to pull him out of school a little bit early just to make it to his appointments. And so it's like I don't want to have to do that if he's literally just going to play games. And for a while I was like, okay, well maybe they're trying to like observe him and make sure he's comfortable, like it's a new environment and this is something that, you know, greatly affects him, and so he wants to feel comfortable. Like of course that makes sense. But now that we're like 2.5 months into this, I'm like, okay, we need to get the ball rolling. It's just been a lot, it seems like, lately. I think today I'm gonna go in a little bit early just to be able to like talk to his therapist. Normally I would be going to the store to get stuff for dinner, like I said, but I just can't think of anything, and the thought of dragging the kids through the store seems even more exhausting physically and mentally, because 9 times out of 10 Bennett wants to be carried, and I just don't have it in me today. I just don't. So I think we're gonna hang out. I think Hendrix has like a half hour left before he's out, so Halston's asleep, Bennett's watching something on YouTube. I think he's watching like Paw Patrol videos or something, Paw Patrol toys. Maybe I'll use this time to like take a deep breath and enjoy the rest of my coffee. I feel like I should like bring my computer with me sometimes. That reminds me, I had 2 videos filmed and I learned that my SD card is not necessarily corrupted, but like some of the clips will be fine and then there's some that are just unusable. Like I go to try to play it back or move it onto the computer and it's just black. There's nothing to it. It's like there's just nothing. So there's something wrong with my SD card, so I'm using a different one today. Not that you guys know. That's another reason why I haven't posted, is because I had 2 videos filmed and but it's just unusable. So love that for me. Oh, and Halston's awake. I think you heard me say Mom was going to enjoy the quiet and her coffee in the same sentence. What do I do with the key? Taking like 5 minutes just to take a deep breath. Like I said, today's really chaotic. Kenny's on his way home. I ordered some pizza. We're just gonna chill tonight. I'm gonna get my comfortable clothes on after this. But I did speak to Hendrix's therapist and she like reassured me that like, yes, we are on the right track. We are on the right track, and there's just some things that we need to work on before we can jump into the bigger things. I wanted to share what I got at Target because they are coming out with some really cute things. I just like that they're coming out with more like simple things. They're not like caked in graphics or like crazy designs. So I grabbed Halston some more pajamas just because he needed some, and I saw these. They were like just barely putting them out, but I loved like the color combination. It's like a color block kind of deal. And I also grabbed him just a pack of pants. I like that the Cloud Island brand is like relatively inexpensive. I thought these would go with like his cream colored onesies that he has. So I just needed to grab him a few more pants. That way I can like actually get him like dressed for the day, so he's not always just like rotating through pajamas. I've been having a hard time finding these Contigo cups, and Target had just 2 different prints. So I at least grabbed this one because they are a little on the pricier side, but I thought the little hedgehogs were cute. I cannot get my words out, I'm telling you. I know you can get a pack of them off of Amazon, but the last that I saw, they were like $40 for a pack of 3. Hendrix obviously got his Squishmallow, and then we picked out a few shirts because spring is hopefully going to be here soon, but he really likes blue. It's his favorite color. He also picked out this one. So it says Sunny Paradise, and then I'm like a big sucker for like when they have the big graphics on the back. I think that's so cute. So that is all that I got at Target because my time was cut very short. Like I said, Halston started just crying. Like not even just like a little cry, like it was like the whole store could probably hear him. Everybody that came by was like looking at me like I was just hurting my child or something, but he was just hungry. I believe Kenny's home. It sounded like he's home anyway. I'm gonna go decompress for a minute. That's what I'm gonna do.